Dodging the pitfalls of modal verbs. Mastering negative forms and questions. Hello there, and welcome to another English language learning video. Today, we're going to delve into the world of intermediate grammar and focus on modal verbs. We'll get down to the nuts and bolts of how to use them in advice, specifically dealing with their negative forms and questions. To top it all off, we will focus on the crucial aspect of error correction and feedback. Get ready to master modal verbs like never before. In English, we use modal verbs to express various states and conditions like possibility, ability, permission, and advice. Today, we're going to focus on their use in advice. Specifically, we'll learn how to use them in their negative forms. To give negative advice, we commonly use shouldn't, a contraction of should not. For example, you shouldn't skip meals. Another modal verb we use for negative advice is ought not to, which is more formal, such as you ought not to ignore these symptoms. It's important to remember that the verb following a modal verb is always in the base form, regardless of the subject. For example, we say, he shouldn't go, and not, he shouldn't goes. Asking for advice can be done using modal verbs in questions. It can be a bit tricky, so let's simplify it. We typically use should for this, like, what should I do? Or, where should we meet? Remember, the structure is modal verb plus subject plus base verb. So it's, should we wait? And not, we should wait. This section is essential because everyone makes mistakes when learning, and error correction is how we improve. When practicing modal verbs, look out for common errors like using the wrong modal verb, forgetting to use the base form of the verb after the modal verb, misplacing the modal verb in questions. When you notice these mistakes, correct them, and practice the correct form. Don't worry if it feels awkward or difficult at first. That's completely normal. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. To master negative forms and questions with modal verbs, you need to practice. Start by making sentences with the correct negative forms and then formulate questions. Give and ask for advice on different topics. Correct your mistakes as you go and don't forget to learn from them. That's a wrap on our lesson about modal verbs for giving advice, specifically tackling negative forms and questions. I hope this has helped clarify some of the challenges in using modal verbs and has provided you with practical strategies for improving your usage. Remember, learning is a journey, and every step, every correction, brings you closer to mastery. Keep practicing and keep improving. See you in our next lesson.